Redevelopment will see an increase in capacity with the ability to host events year-round. We expect to welcome many more fans than we do today, create over 900 jobs, and provide significant ancillary economic benefits to the broader community. We are also excited by the public realm and East Island parkland development plans, knowing that a significant amount of the site will remain accessible to the public, providing an enhanced green space and parkland for all Ontarians to enjoy, while also allowing for the presentation of festivals, community, and other world-class events. As I have previously said, Live Nation's desire has always been to remain the entertainment pillar of Ontario Place. We share in the government's vision to revitalize this site and make it a world-class destination that will attract visitors from around the world with these remarkable new attractions. The redevelopment of Budweiser Stage will allow us to build on the success of the past 30 years, improving an iconic live entertainment venue that will continue to provide great experiences for fans and artists alike for the next 30 years and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne Zronick. I would now like to turn it over to Ontario's Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, the Honourable Neil Lumsden.
Thank you, Wayne, and Live Nation for your partnership and investment in the revitalization of Ontario Place. Thank you also to my colleague Vijay, who did a tremendous job in the legislature today, and for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here and to join Premier Ford, Minister Surma, and all of our partners here today. Even though it's a little chilly, it just doesn't matter to us. Nothing's going to stop it. The relocation of the Ontario Science Centre is a new state-of-the-art facility on Toronto's waterfront and is a major step forward. The Ontario Science Centre has been an Ontario icon for decades. But the existing Ontario Science Centre was built in the 1960s and is now in need of major and costly repairs. Moving here is a fantastic opportunity in more than one sense. It will bring unique science-based educational programming and modern exhibits to the heart of a new Ontario Place. This will complement the other attractions that are being planned for Ontario Place, producing real and economic impact for our province. We estimate that the new Ontario Science Centre will attract approximately 1 million visitors a year. And this relocation is also the most cost-effective way to modernize the centre and ensure that it retains its status as one of the globally recognized institutes and at a high level and stays that way. Construction will begin in 2025. In the meantime, the existing Ontario Science Centre facility remains open and continues to welcome guests. I'd also like to suggest to you that the staff, the chairman, the CEO of the Ontario Science Centre, and everyone involved have been doing a tremendous job of working around the issues from a construction perspective and keeping the facility open and running at a very high level. This is an exciting new chapter in the history of the Ontario Science Centre and future generations of scientists. It is also potentially the beginning of a new chapter in the lives of so many Ontario families that will benefit from the housing opportunities that this relocation will create within the Don Mills neighborhood. Today is a fantastic day for all of us. Get ready for a lot more at Ontario Place, a destination for residents and for visitors that will be fun for everyone. I'd now like to invite my colleague, Minister Surma, up to the podium with more details. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Minister Lumsden. I am so happy to be here with all of you at Ontario Place to join our partners, Surma, Live Nation, and the Science Centre as we make progress on bringing the vision to life. In 2021, I was glad to join Premier Ford as he announced that our government was moving forward with the redevelopment of Ontario Place. This vision for the new site was clear. Nearly a decade after closing its doors, we will bring Ontario Place back to life and redevelop it into a remarkable, world-class, year-round destination for people across Ontario and tourists around the world. We are making it a waterfront destination that will once again be fun for everyone. We have appreciated the collective effort thus far as the government, Indigenous communities, stakeholders, the public, and key partners share their vision for the site. Consultation has always been at the forefront. Together, we are creating an iconic cultural and recreational landmark for the 21st century that will welcome up to 6 million visitors every year. Today, I am thrilled to provide an update on the significant progress we are making to turn this vision into a reality and create even more opportunities for families to make lifelong memories. Ontario Place, from the first day that it opened in 1971, was envisioned as a place to come and learn, play, and have fun. And I am proud that our government is continuing this tradition by relocating the Ontario Science Centre to Ontario Place that will welcome more than 1 million visitors every year. It's a science centre for the next generation. It builds on our government's plan to support STEM education and prepare young people for the jobs of the future. In addition, I am excited that Live Nation is continuing 30 years of memories with Ontarians right here at Ontario Place. Their new state-of-the-art all-season stage will welcome even more fans for decades to come while retaining the much-loved amphitheater lawns. Combined with our plans to expand, enhance the public spaces and parkland at Ontario Place, as well as Surma's family-friendly water park and wellness facility, Live Nation's new music and entertainment venue will be an exciting year-round addition, attracting world-class artists and events while also bringing even more visitors and tourists to the site and to the City of Toronto, creating new jobs, generating income for local businesses, and boosting our province's economic growth. In order to get shovels in the ground and deliver on our promise to redevelop Ontario Place, we need to get the site ready for construction. The existing critical infrastructure, such as stormwater management, water, electrical, and gas services, are 50 years old. They have reached the end of their lifespan and require repairs and maintenance. After launching a competitive procurement process last year, we will soon be selecting a construction company to begin site servicing. This important work is expected to begin this spring and will ensure that the site's critical infrastructure is brought up to modern standards. The value of this important work cannot be understated and is a true demonstration of what our government is doing to build Ontario. The work is scheduled to begin in the coming months and will keep the lights on and water flowing to the new attractions and facilities that will be enjoyed for generations. By now, you've heard a lot about our vision to bring Ontario Place back to life. But what I'm most excited about is to share the new images and recommended design concepts for the first time that really paint a picture of what's to come. Throughout the recommended design concepts, you'll see that close attention and care was paid to address the unique interests of the people of Ontario, while also paying homage to the original architecture and heritage that made Ontario Place such an impressive provincial attraction until the majority of it closed in 2012. Engagement with the Indigenous communities has been an important aspect of the project to ensure Indigenous design concepts and placekeeping are reflected across the site to honor the rich traditions, cultures, and heritage of Indigenous peoples. Once complete, the site will feature 43 acres of free public space for everyone to enjoy. That's 7 acres larger than Toronto's Trinity Bellwoods Park and more than 3 times the size of Dufferin Grove Park. In the future, you will be able to walk on a new public boulevard, stroll along a new pier, relax on a new public beach, and play in a new 1-acre fountain. Families and children will be able to ride a train across the island, celebrate in new event spaces, and enjoy food and beverage accessible all year long. And finally, a new and improved marina will be a lively year-round spot to socialize, grab a meal, enjoy boating, and appreciate the water. The recommended design concepts for the marina include a boardwalk, Ontario Place Pier, and the Marina Village plazas with opportunities for waterside cafes and year-round restaurants. Our government will be engaging the market to determine how the marina can be modernized and better support visitors and boaters. Once complete, this marina will be the spot to visit for fun with family and friends. To further bring these public spaces to life, we are also continuing conversations with Ontario Live based on their response to our government's 2019 call for development process. We are exploring potential opportunities to deliver hospitality services that could create even more family-friendly experiences and fun for everyone. And finally, visitors will also have the opportunity to experience year-round recreational health and wellness services delivered by Surma Canada as part of its new well-being destination. This all-season family-friendly facility will have something for all ages and interests, including pools and water slides, botanical spaces to relax, sports performance and recovery services, and restaurants with an exciting dining experience. Outside, people will also enjoy approximately 12 acres of free, publicly accessible gathering spaces, trails, parkland, gardens, easy access to the water, and a new beach. As you can see, we are creating an Ontario Place for everyone. I invite you to continue to share your feedback with us as we bring the site back to life. We really want you to see the latest designs, so please check them out at ontario.ca/Ontario Place. The very next public engagement event is on April 27th. Thank you so much, and now I'd like to invite Premier Ford to the stage.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Minister Surma, for your introduction. I'm thrilled to be back here at the iconic Ontario Place alongside, as you've heard from everyone, Minister Surma and Minister Lumsden, PA Thanagaslam. I also want to recognize our amazing project partners, John Carmichael and the whole team at Ontario Science Centre, Carmine Negro, the chair of Ontario Place, Michael Lindsay from Infrastructure Ontario, Chief LaForme, always great to see you, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. And Wayne, I know you just spoke, so everyone knows who's here, the entire team at Live Nation, and Simon and our friends at Surma Canada, and our partners at Ontario Live, including Leuna. And it's great to see so many people here today representing our tourism and hospitality sectors, all sharing in our exciting vision for a new and modern Ontario Place. Friends, like so many of you, I had such fond memories of my time spent here as a kid growing up, bringing our little sailboat over. That was kind of the highlight of the weekend, parking it there and strolling around on Ontario Place. So today, it's such a privilege to be here with friends to talk about the progress we're making to breathe new life into Ontario Place. We're building a world-class, year-round destination. You remember when we grew up, you could only come here in the summer. This is going to be a year-round destination that's fun for families and students and tourists to enjoy for generations to come. It'll be a place to open for everyone, and no matter if it's families or visitors or tourists, they're welcome here. A place to enjoy for an evening, the whole day, or even a weekend. Just imagine, every year this site will welcome millions of visitors from every corner of this province, every corner of this country, and around the world. We'll see young families driving in, let's say from Burlington or Oshawa, and using the new underground public parking facility, students taking the new Ontario line through Corktown to the exhibition station, which will include new transit options that connect people to exhibition grounds in Ontario Place. Vacationers, let's say from Timmins or Ottawa, even from Boston and New York, and my second favorite city next to Toronto, Chicago, flying to Billy Bishop Island Airport just down the road. And boaters from Cornwall and Kingston and Niagara, and even over by Port Credit, will be coming over here, docking for the day at our new and improved public marina. And friends, once you get here, there's going to be so much to do, so much fun. You can start your day taking a stroll at Trillium Park or at one of our new trails with stunning views of Lake Ontario and the beautiful Toronto skyline. Then head over the new public marina and enjoy some shopping from local vendors and grab a meal or a cold drink at one of the many new restaurants and bars that our partners at Ontario Live will design and deliver. After that, you can walk or cycle over to the new state-of-the-art Science Centre And by the way, we've been talking about this science center for over 3 years now. Probably the worst kept secret. But John, thank you for that. Yeah, I agree. Where you can explore the latest in interactive exhibits or catch the movie at an upgraded Cinesphere. You could spend an afternoon at Surma Water Park or just relax on one of the new expanded public beaches. And to close it out for the day, enjoy one of the live concerts. I'm sure quite a few of you have already been to Budweiser stage. They're going to have 20,000 other people in the brand new all-season amphitheater, and thank you for that to our friends at Live Nation, world class. Friends, we're bringing more to Ontario Place, more green space, more trails, more beaches, and more fun. The new revitalized Ontario Place is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. It will attract between 4 to 6 million people. The minister's telling me 6, I believe it. Hopefully it'll even be more each and every year. Create approximately 5,000 jobs and be an economic driver for local hotels and restaurants and entertainment venues for decades to come. Friends, our government has a plan to help people, businesses, and communities today while laying a strong foundation for generations to come. And we're making sure that we create the conditions and environment for companies like Live Nation and Surma to come here and invest into our great city and our great province. One thing I always have complete confidence in is the Team Ontario spirit. And this project, our plan to bring Ontario Place back to life, is a perfect example of what I mean when I talk about Team Ontario. When we have government, businesses, Indigenous groups, unions, and industry all coming together, sharing a vision, there's nothing we can't accomplish. We look forward to continuing to work with you and to make Ontario Place a world-class destination. Once again, thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So, Premier, looking at the map there, I think some of your critics might look at the tiny little speck of the Science Centre versus the big spa, and they'll say, why? We've already heard it from the NDP and others. Why are you having something a luxury spa as opposed to a smaller science center that would be more accessible to people? What do you say to those critics?
Well, the Science Center is going to be part of the pods, the Cinesphere. We're going to build a beautiful space there. We can make it a couple levels. It's going to be state of the art. All of us grew up going to the Science Center one time or another. It's tired. And the team over at Ontario Science Center is doing an incredible job. I'm sure they're going to be so excited to put more exhibits in there, but it's going to be state-of-the-art, world-class science center that everyone I encourage to come and visit, especially the schools around the province. Come to Ontario Place and visit the Science Center for a day. But this is really going to be spectacular. It really is. And I have all the confidence in the world in John Carmichael and his team over at the Ontario Science Center.
We are in the midst of a mayoral race right now. We've heard
Yes.
from some of the candidates who don't support your plan for the vision for Ontario Place. What happens if the public elects someone who doesn't support this? Are you going to somehow bypass the city to get your vision built?
Yeah, well, I always respect that Toronto's the host, the city. But last time I checked on the sign out there, it doesn't say Toronto Place. It says Ontario Place. This is for everyone around Ontario. We always respect, and we work collaboratively with Toronto. The previous mayor was very, very helpful, Mayor Tory, in moving it forward. But you know something, this is an election. They're going to agree or disagree. Some of them want little red apple trees going around here and don't touch anything. That doesn't cut it. This is prime real estate. We need more venues here in Toronto to attract more tourists, and this is going to be world class. No matter if you're walking through at the front entrance and stop at the Science Center, or taking a bike ride or a walk along the beautiful beach, or going to the water park at Surma, or going to an evening show over at Live Nation. There's going to be so many things to do. Folks, this sat here for 12 years. There's weeds growing up out of the concrete. Nothing was happening. The previous government had an opportunity to get things going, and their idea was, let's build condos. It's not gonna happen. We're building a destination for the world and the country and the people of Ontario to come here and have an incredible time, and I just can't wait.
Premier, what is this going to cost, and what happens to the existing Science Centre site at Don Mills, which I think is about 90 acres?
Yeah, great question, Rob. So what we're doing, any development that we do, and this included, we're taking care of the costs, and we're going to be transparent once we get everything tallied up to prep the land, get it ready. But companies like Live Nations and Surma, they're going to do the building. We aren't putting any dollars into the building. We're preparing the site for them. They're going to maintain outside the area of Surma and Live Nation. They've been incredible partners so far. And as soon as that comes out, we're going to make sure it's transparent. Now, as for the old site, we're in desperate need of housing. It's going to be right at the beginning or the end of Ontario line, whatever way you want to look at it. And we're going to focus on the transit-oriented communities. We're going to build density around that area, make sure we have nonprofit, attainable, and affordable, and regular homes. But the numbers were up on the condos. I don't know if you heard. Sales were going up. I think it was 25%, and so we're going in the right direction. Just supply and demand, and we're going to need more supply, and that's going to be a major site for us.
So there won't be any Science Centre in Don Mills. Will all of the stuff that's at the Science Centre now in Don Mills be down here at this site across from, across from Exhibition Place?
I believe it will, but I'm going to hand it over to Minister Lumsden and maybe over to John Carmichael. But what I understand, we're going to bring all the exhibits over here, but there's new exhibits too. There's great things happening every single day when it comes to science, and it's just going to be spectacular. World-class science center. So Minister Lumsden, why don't you take over from here?
Thanks, Premier. Yeah, to suggest that it would look exactly the same would be incorrect. That building where it stands right now is 52 years old and getting older by the day. So the common space, the redesign of the Science Centre will be state-of-the-art, next generation. So a lot of what is there right now probably will move over with other things, with greater efficiencies and greater usage for either education, for the visitors, and across the board. So the impact is going to be as big or even bigger. Just because the square footage won't be as large doesn't mean the impact of the facility won't be greater.
Hi, Premier Richard, Southern City News 680. As you point out, this belongs to all Ontarians.
Yes.
Yet you haven't done much in the way of public consultations. Are you confident that the majority of Ontarians want a big private spa down here and want the Science Centre moved here? Sir?
Yeah, Richard, good question. We have consulted. I'm going to pass it over to Minister Surma, but we have consulted in depth with quite a few people. But go ahead, Minister.
Thank you very much, Premier, and thank you for the question. We have absolutely been consulting with the public for years now. Actually, we're not the first government to explore redeveloping Ontario Place. The previous government had consultations as well. All of that fed into the process, and if you look at the image that's in front of you today, it characterizes the key comments that we heard from the public. The public wanted open public realm space. As you can see, there's 43 acres here, which is larger than Trinity Bellwoods Park. They wanted access to the water. You will have access to the water throughout the entire site. And so all of those comments throughout the years, including the consultation that we led, and consultation that continues, we have another meeting on the 27th of April with the environmental assessment process, have all fed in to this holistic vision that we are presenting to the public today.
Follow up for you, Premier. You talk about wanting to build housing on the Ontario Science Centre side.
Yes.
I believe a lot of that is ravine land, which is not great for building housing. How are you going to work around that issue?
Well, we're going to work with the Conservation Authority like we do on any site. There is buildable lands. I understand on the back end it has some conservation, but we aren't going to build on that area. We'll build on the land that we can build on, and we'll create density around there. And Richard, as for the last question, folks, we live in a democracy. We received a strong mandate from the people of Ontario in the last election, and we're going to move on the items that we talked about during the election. Ontario Place was one of them. Making sure that we build more homes is another. Keeping costs down, attracting new companies to Ontario, and that's exactly what's happening. We're getting it done for the people of Ontario.
Hi, Premier Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I said nice words about you last night, by the way.
I heard you're not supposed to. You know that, right?
I know. I'm supposed to be mean.
So back to the housing at
Yeah.
the Science Center. How many housing units are you proposing, and who's going to get to build them?
Well, we're going to obviously work with the City of Toronto. We're going to see the density. We want to create as much density as possible, but I'm going to have to get back to you on the exact amount. But there's going to be thousands of units there, and it's going to be right on the transit line. So it's going to be really exciting. Just imagine you can live up there, hop on the brand new subway, come all the way down to Exhibition Grounds, and then we're going to have a transportation mode that Metrolinx is working on to get us from the drop-off at Exhibition Grounds right into Ontario Place.
I'm deviating just a bit with
Sure.
my second question. It's
Yeah.
about housing on the Greenbelt.
Yes.
There have been 2 studies that have shown it's not necessary to build on the Greenbelt because there is land available to build and zoned already for 2 million or 1.5 million homes, depending which study you look at.
Yeah.
Why then is it necessary to build on the Greenbelt?
Well, thanks for that, Cynthia. We have 445,000 people that showed up to our province last year alone. Those are staggering numbers. We're going to see millions of people over the next 10 years. And let's put this into perspective. Again, this is privately owned home. Since I've taken office, the Greenbelt has grown by a couple thousand acres. There's certain areas. The previous government literally got a bunch of staffers in a room with a bunch of crayons and highlighters and randomly just went on a map. No rhyme, no reason. It's the most craziest thing I've ever seen. There's certain areas that should be Greenbelt that will always preserve, and we're going to grow it. Like I said, 2,000 acres, but I have a bunch of staffers just going down the one side of the road and going down the other. It just doesn't make sense. We're putting it butt up against existing developments. This isn't going to be in a nice let's say a pond. We aren't building on that. We're building on developable land. And by the way, folks, you know what was funny? I keep thinking about this Greenbelt. The previous government that put together this so-called Greenbelt, as they call it, they changed it 17 times to suit their developer buddies. I'm not doing that. I want homes. We ran on building homes. We're going to build homes, and we're going to build thousands of homes until when people come here, or people that have lived here, they're going to have an affordable, attainable homes, and we're going to continue building, because I just don't think about what do we need next year or the year after. I'm thinking 15, 25 years down the road. We're building transit to get out to these areas, making it more affordable. It's very tough, as everyone knows, to rent a place. Even here in Toronto, the GTA, it's so expensive to even buy a place. We have to expand it. So we're going to continue building right across Ontario.
Hi, Lorenda Redikoff from CBC.
Hi.
We heard that the imagined science center down here will have less square footage. So how much smaller will it be than the current science center?
Well, I'll hand it over to Minister Lumsden or Minister Surma, whatever you want. But let me tell you about this science center. This is going to be spectacular. You go to the old science center, just because of the square footage, it may not be the same. We're going to use those pods. I love those pods behind us. They're historic, but we're also going to have a brand new spanking building, and they're going to bring more exhibits in, so more things for people to see.
Thank you so much. The future Science Center will likely be smaller than what's existent today at Don Mills and Eglinton. That is a structure that's very old, was designed very many years ago. This, however, and we haven't pronounced the exact square footage that it will be because we have to do the design work. Right now, we are sharing with the public that our vision is to bring the Science Center down to give it an opportunity for a modern new facility with new exhibits and to be a tenant and an activity for families. But the design work will be the next step, and we will absolutely keep the public apprised.
We've heard from people who live in the area near the current science center, and they say that they were never consulted and they feel frustrated, that they're going to be losing this tourist attraction in their neighborhood. What do you say to the people of Flemington Park?
Well, I'm going to say you're getting a brand new subway station that you never had before. You're going to be able to get to a job quicker. You're going to be able to come down to Ontario Place a lot quicker. And to be very fair to the people that work their backs off at the Ontario Science Center, for decades, they want something new. They want something sparkling and have an opportunity to be able to walk in a beautiful facility rather than a rundown old building. And it's not their fault. They're doing everything they can with a rundown old building. So the people in the area, why don't you come down to Ontario Place, spend the day with your family, go to Ontario Place, and go to the Science Center as well. So folks, make no mistake about this. This is world class. World class. This is not going to be anything like it in all of Canada. And we just look forward to having everyone around the world. And we live in such a multicultural city and province, and so many visitors come in from all over. We need more destinations, and this is going to be spectacular.
Hi, Premier Matthew Bingley from Global News.
Hey, Matthew.
You've spoken repeatedly about how old and run down the old Science Center is,
Yeah.
but on top of having a tourist hub up in that area, a lot of people use that as a community center, and there are a lot of supports for people in that area. Are you going to demolish the old Science Center, or are you committing now to building a new community hub for the people that will live in that area?
So what we're planning to do is get rid of the old Science Center, put, again, affordable, attainable, nonprofit homes up there, because that's what people need. People need to be able to buy a home or get an affordable home. That's what we're focused on. Community centers would work hand in hand. That falls under the jurisdiction of the city. They always do. But we could always support them one way or another. So this is going to be, again, a phenomenal location. And for the Science Center, I can promise you, I'm going to go out on the limb here, and I bet I won't be wrong. When we open Ontario Place and we open the new Science Center, watch the people come through, and we'll look at the attendance at the new Science Center versus the old. They're going to knock the socks off the attendance of the old Science Center. I promise you that.
Hey, good morning, afternoon, Premier. It's Colin
Hi, Colin.
Cavella from Global News. I wanted to ask you about mandate letters from 2018. Yeah. Did at any point when you were presenting your cabinet ministers with those mandate letters, did you ever read those mandate letters out in cabinet, or did you ever discuss those mandate letters in cabinet before you actually gave them to your cabinet ministers?
No, I didn't read them out, out in the cabinet, but we sat down and we chatted with each minister. And I think it's a good thing. We got elected with a clear mandate from the people of Ontario. I was so transparent. I told everyone what we were going to do, and we're doing it. That's our mandate. That's our mandate given to us in a democracy. We got elected by the people, and we're going to fulfill that mandate, and we're going to continue building.
So was there actually any deliberation within your cabinet that had yet to be named at that point, because you were just handing out the cabinet letters? Was there any deliberation about what was going to be in those cabinet letters, those letters that you were handing out to your cabinet ministers?
Yeah, what was in the mandate letters is what we said during the election. We're going to build homes. We're going to build transit. We're going to make sure we attract companies and create the environment for companies to come here and invest. That was our mandate, and that's exactly what we're doing, and we're announcing stuff every single day to fulfill the mandate that the people gave us when we ran in the election.
Hi, Premier.
Hi.
If I heard correctly, I think Minister Lumsden said that it was going to be more cost effective to move the Science Centre here rather than to rebuild it in its current location.
Yes.
Are you able to elaborate at all on what sort of analysis was done to reach that conclusion? What was the cost comparison?
Sure, I'll pass that over to Minister Lumsden. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Premier, I'll take that one. It's snowing. Thank you very much. So when we understood the state and condition of the Science Centre, it was in disrepair. What the government did was issued a business case analysis to determine whether or not it was more cost effective to stay in its existing location or search for a new home as well as for a new home. The business case analysis did show us that it was less expensive to bring the Science Centre here as part of the Ontario Place redevelopment, but also giving us an opportunity to build a brand new modern facility, one with new exhibits, which I'm sure the staff at the Science Centre are very thrilled about. And it will also be another activity at the Ontario Place redevelopment, joining Thermae's water park, Live Nation stage, brand new stage that people will have access to 365 days of the year, and the wonderful public realm space in the marina. So Science Centre has found a new home, and of course we will, as the numbers are verified by government, we will share that with the public.
Hi, Premier. Charlie of the Trillium here.
Hi,
I like
Charlie.
your Trillium pin, by the way.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you.
Two quick questions for you. The first one is the press release that we were sent says that the underground parking is going to be revenue generating. So I'm just wondering if how much is the parking on the site going to cost people who are visiting?
Yeah, great question, Charlie. We have about 27 parking spaces that we're proposing right now, but I'll pass it over to the minister.
Thank you very much for that question. We are exploring, of course, to add additional parking here on the site. We are running those numbers right now, and we will share those once they once they have been verified, and we will share all of this information with the public. There are a lot of pieces coming together to build the vision of Ontario Place, and we want to make this site as accessible for anyone. So whether you're a mom with 3 kids driving from Scarborough, we want you to be able to come here to enjoy a wonderful day with your family. We're building the Ontario line, so people will be able to take the subway down to Ontario Place, Exhibition Go, and of course walk and cycle here. So we want to make the site as accessible to everyone so that they can come and have a wonderful day with their family.
And in terms of redeveloping what will be the old site of the Science Center, what's the time horizon for when you would like to see homes and whatever else is built there finished?
Yeah, great question again, Charlie. We're going to move as quickly as possible. What I heard is the 2025 that they're going to be moving over here. But again, I'm going to pass it over to the minister.
Thank you very much. Something that we need to consider, of course, we're building the Ontario Line North segment up there, and so a lot of that is very much dependent on the subway construction timelines. But we will, of course, keep everyone apprised, and we will work with the City of Toronto.
And this will be the last question.
Hi, Premier. Alex from the Globe and Mail.
Hi, Alex.
Hi. Question for you. The existing Science Centre, along with Ontario Place, is one of the most beloved public buildings, one of the most beloved public sites in the province. The province is now moving away, and you're suggesting that the building needs a lot of work. Is it now going to come down, and do you think that's appropriate?
We're talking the Ontario Science Centre? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's appropriate. When they did the cost analysis, it's kind of a no-brainer. You have a great site for development, for, again, affordable, attainable, and nonprofit homes and regular homes. And then you have an opportunity to build a brand spanking new Ontario Place, state-of-the-art, with new exhibits. It's going to be spectacular. So even, a snapshot of it, you can see it's going to be great for both locations. More housing on one, and a beautiful site for the hardworking people at Ontario Science Centre that put in so much effort on their attractions every day. But this is like moving into a brand new facility, so I'm sure they're all excited and pumped up about it. It will be developed. Yes, it will be.
Thanks so much. All good.
Oh, good. Okay, I got to say, go Leafs, go. We're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I love them. Go get them, guys. Thank you.